If you don't know what your root belief is, then it is quite literally impossible for someone else to believe in it. Hello, welcome back to Not Another Mindset Show. I have a little business chat planned for you today. And I want to talk about something that is really at the core of so much of what we need to be paying attention to in our business. Like, it is literally the thing that everything should grow from. And here's the thing, and where I want to start is that you can have a great offer, a great program, a website that looks super legit, and still watch people land on your page, engage with your content, maybe even DM you, and still not buy from you. And most business owners try to diagnose this as a funnel problem, as a traffic problem. I just need more leads, as maybe something wrong with your pricing. Usually it's, do I need to make this cheaper? But it is almost always never those things. And I say this speaking from experience, speaking from someone who's been running their own business for 6 years now, someone who has worked intimately one-on-one with many health and fitness coaching business owners, specifically over the years inside the Growth Collective. That is my one-on-one mentorship program for health and fitness business owners. Been doing that for, oh my goodness, 4 years? 4 years. So here's the thing. It's not really, it's rarely a traffic problem. It's rarely a content problem. It is a root belief problem. And that is a term that I most recently coined. And today we're going to talk about what that actually means and how to fix it, how to get into it. So what the heck is a root belief? The root belief is the one thing your ideal buyer, your ideal client needs to believe in before anything else can actually take hold. Any of your content, your messaging, your sales emails, anything. So the details of your offer, your credentials, your killer testimonials, all of those things come after the root belief, and they all should tie back to the root belief. So when I say root belief, you can actually kind of think of a plant. I love me a plant analogy. For those of you in HMCC, you're like, here we go with the freaking plants again, Kasey. And actually, I'm thinking about, I have a plant that was a gift 3 years ago. It's beautiful Monstera and desperately needs to be repotted into a larger pot. Like, it's definitely overgrowing, but I'm so scared because I have tried to repot things before and then they immediately die. And that has to do with the root system. It has to do with the roots not taking hold in the new soil, in the new pot. And because even with the best soil, even with all of the love and the care that you have for this plant, even with a nice new pot that they should be thriving in, if the root system gets damaged or you don't have a root system, nothing takes hold, then the plant is going to die. This is me now very ominously saying that about your business. Every business has a root belief. The difference is the most successful business owners you see out there, they know exactly what that root belief is, and they're constantly coming back to it anytime they create a piece of content, anytime they set up a nurture sequence, anytime they create a lead magnet or a freebie, they're coming back to that root belief. So why most coaches and business owners skip this, at least from my perspective that I've noticed, we're trained to lead with the offer, with all of the bells and whistles, all of the things that you can give your client, all of the resources and community and all of the stuff that they get. Look at all of my experience. Here's the price that I've so perfectly calculated for every different package that you can enter into. We're trying to look at all of that stuff as if it's the most important. But a prospective client who has not yet accepted your root belief, they will look at your offer and feel nothing. Or worse, they will feel skeptical. because the root belief is that important. This is also why good content that you make will get good engagement. Again, might lead to some DMs and conversations, but not conversions because you haven't established that root belief yet. They don't believe in that root belief yet. So I feel like this ties back to virality, going viral on social media, which, just to be clear, I haven't had something go viral in, 5 years. Still doing okay over here. And I do think a big part of that is because I'm really just focused on establishing the root belief and ensuring that the people who come across my content and are in my launches, the focus is, we need you to believe in this one thing. So what can happen, and I've seen this happen with many people, you get the virality, you get the engagement, you grow your following, but those people aren't actually your ideal person. They're not buyers. Even if they are your ideal person, they're still not buying. And it's because of this. I'm pretty confident it's because of this, because the message is ultimately hitting people without the roots established. And if they don't hold your root belief yet, they're not going to buy. And by the way, if you don't know what your root belief is, then it is quite literally impossible for someone else to believe in it. So that's where we're going to go next, is how to identify your root belief. I want you to ask yourself, what is the number one thing my ideal client needs to believe before my offer makes sense to them? What is that one thing? How does that one thing then position what you do as a specific solution for a specific problem for a specific person? That's what we're looking at here with the root belief. So, for example, the root belief in my business is not the health mindset coaching certification is a great program. It's the gold standard for mindset and behavior change coaching in the health and fitness world. That's not the root belief. Nor is it Kasey has a PhD, so the certification must be good. It's not about credentials. The root belief in my business really is that behavior change and mindset science, not plans and programs, not even nutrition and fitness education, is what determines whether or not your clients will stay consistent and get results. That is the root belief. Trying to get people to believe in the fact that mindset and behavior change science needs to be included in their coaching practices. Those are the people who buy HMCC when they have that belief, which is why everything that I do is trying to get people to believe in that and not just trying to convince them. I really, really believe in that. If this is your first time listening to the show, just go back and pick some random episodes and you will see how passionate I believe in this stuff. So I guess that's a good point to make too. If you don't believe in your root belief, then we got a whole nother, that's an entirely different podcast episode. Like you got to do some thinking, got to do some soul searching if that's the case. Okay. So a framework to kind of start thinking about how to find your own root belief. What does your client need to believe before your offer really feels like it's the obvious next step? And that's what we really want to tap into. What does someone need to believe before they're like, well, duh, of course I need to work with this specific coach? And if you can't land on something clean and clear here, then my friend, I do believe we just identified a messaging problem that you need to pay attention to. So I have some things here of how the root belief shows up or maybe doesn't in your business, a few different areas. First, your content. Are you creating posts that build the belief or posts that assume that the belief is already there? You're making the assumption that your audience already believes in the thing, or are you actually creating content that helps them believe in the thing? Is your lead magnet, your freebies that you offer, does it plant that root, or are you just delivering information? Here's a guide on post-workout nutrition. Does that tie into your root belief, or are you just, here's some more information that's important, but is that really going to move them towards wanting to work with you? Think about your emails in your sales page. Are you making the case for the belief before you make the case for the offer? Are you making a case for the belief before you make a case for the offer? I feel like I need to say that 700 times. Instead of just immediately diving into, here's all the benefits and amazing things that you get when you work with me, do they actually believe in your root belief? Because if they don't, none of that freaking matters. It doesn't. And all of this really ties back to what I talk about all of the time with mindset and behavior change. It's the exact same mechanism that you should be thinking about with clients when you're coaching them. Because if your clients don't believe that change is possible for them, then you are automatically moving into an uphill battle. If they don't believe it, doesn't matter what strategy, what plan, what solution you throw at them, if they don't actually believe that they can change or that they can do this stuff in the first place. Same thing goes in your business when you're selling and marketing and in your content. The belief comes first, then consistent action, then results. That's what we see with our clients. And that's exactly what you're going to see in like a buyer cycle, thinking about prospective client to becoming someone who actually hires you. So that's exactly why you need to understand this stuff, not just to be an effective coach, but to be an effective business owner. It's all the same. Mindset, psychology, behavior change, human decision-making. It's all the same. It's just how you're kind of actually implementing it in different realms. Okay. So hopefully at this point, you do believe in the idea of the root belief. Like the root belief of this podcast episode is to believe in the root belief. I would hope so. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't still be listening at this point. But here's what you can do next. I want you to audit a piece of your content or your copy, take a look at your sales page and ask yourself, does this copy, does what I have here assume that the root belief is given, that someone already believes in this thing? Or is it something that's really helping build the belief? Which, here's the thing. We do want some content to have the assumption that the belief has already been made. Because, and I've made this mistake before too, that you spend so much time trying to get people to believe in this core message, this root belief, that you forget that there are people who are sort of in later stages that already have that belief because they've been following you for a while, because they've been around, they've come to your free trainings, whatever. And now you just keep speaking to the person who doesn't believe in it. You do want some content to the person who believes in it, but that's usually not the problem. Usually what I've seen from coaches, again, this is me working with business owners and just all of the coaches in HFCC, which we have over 1,000 at this point, by the way, over 1,000 students. Oh, so cool. So yeah, really audit. Just go to your Instagram at random, click a post and see what you're doing there. Are you making the assumption that the belief is already there? Or are you actually building the belief with that piece of content? So the job of your free content, your lead magnets, your nurture sequence emails, all of it is to grow the root, develop that root belief in that person. And then the offer becomes the just very clear, natural, obvious next step because they believe in that root belief. Okay. I hope this was helpful. And I do have to say at this point, this is honestly like very timely. Speaking of the Growth Collective, we did just open applications today, June 15th. I only open up applications 2 times per year. We only have between 8 to 10 business owners in the Growth Collective at any given time because I spend so much time with you. It's very one-on-one, very hands-on. You do get interaction with our small group. It is like mini mastermind style, but it's mostly about me getting my hands on your business. And I spend an incredible amount of time with you. And I have an incredible amount of other things to do in the business as well. So 8 to 10 people max. Most people stay for 1.5 to 2 years. So at any given time, we only have 3 to 5 spots even open. So applications are open today. I do need you to know, don't get too excited. If you are not a health mindset certified coach, or at least a student as you're listening to this, then you cannot apply. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to say. But I need you to have foundational mindset, psychology, and behavior change training because so much of that does play a role in business. But this is a lot of the stuff that I talk about in the Growth Collective when it comes to positioning your offers, your messaging, down to like what you're posting on Instagram. We talk about all of the things. So if you're an HMCC student or grad and you would like to spend a ton of time with me on your business, then please consider applying for the Growth Collective. I would love to work with you. Yeah, go out there and establish your roots, guys. Make sure you're doing that in your content, your messaging. Take some time to think about what that belief is. What is that one thing that someone really needs to take hold of before they actually can buy from you? And use that to drive your decisions and your content and your copy and all that good stuff. Okay, that is all I have for you. I appreciate you being here. As always, you're the best. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.